Hi guys, what's up? Zach here. Today we are here with a brand new F1 2014 modded career mode video. If you missed yesterday's video, I'll leave a link down in the description to it. It was Monaco. It was a pretty hectic race, so it's definitely worth a watch. But anyway, we're here in Canada, lights out and away we go. We get a pretty bad start in all honesty. We've never really had a good start this season. Not too sure why, but never really getting those good starts. Now, looking all over the place down into turn 1 here in Canada because I don't want to get involved in an accident. And as I said in the last episode, I upped the difficulty a little bit higher than I wanted in this episode because I realised the last episode in Monaco, the AI were a little bit too easy. So I'm trying to even out the championship. So that's what I've done for this episode. So it should be a tough race for us, but we're trying to get around Massa here, and we've done that around the outside. But Massa fights back on the outside, and he manages to get the move done, and he just flies off into the distance there. Alonso and Button, two big names at the back of the grid as well. And just an interesting fact for anyone wondering, I told you there's one driver that hasn't scored any points this season, and that driver is Felipe Massa. He has not scored a single point this season. Even though it's been random grids every single race, you would have expected him to at least have one chance to be anywhere near the top 10, and that wasn't the case. Suttel making a mistake through there, losing his front wing. Not sure whether he had an accident with anyone else. Alonso looks a little bit out of position, maybe it was contact with him, but Suttel down to last place here, and we're trying to look around the back of Massa, but once again he defends the inside. We try and get a good run up the inside on the exit of the hairpin, but just doesn't work out. Massa just gets the power down a little bit easier, and he manages to get the speed down the straight. We're looking out, not out the slipstream. I don't even know what I'm doing there. I think I was actually looking at something on the sort of wheel. I was trying to find a button on the wheel, but I looked down at the wheel and that's what was worth to decide through the last turn and making a big mistake, going a bit too fast into the turn, and it meant I was all over the place going out of the turn. So that's one lap completed. Suttel goes into the pits to retire from the race, and Massa, the really massive corner cut, and somehow just keeps on going even though there's a massive curve there which he decided to just go through. And skipping on a little bit later, Alonso has made a mistake. Massa has got very sideways as well. I think Alonso, is he stuck on the curve? I don't know, but he's very far behind now. And we go for a move down the inside of Massa, which we've done, and we've managed to make the move on Felipe Massa up to P21. And slightly in the wrong gear there, so very slow off the corner. Massa definitely going on attack. He's looking to the inside. I'm blocking him off as best as I can. And yellow flags out once again. What's happening here? Well, we're going into slow motions. Kvyat has spun it, and he just drives into the middle of the field. Kvyat and Ricciardo, two Red Bull drivers, have crashed into each other, and Danny Kvyat just powers into the middle of the field and takes out Button. And in turn, I haven't braked and realised in time, and I've gone and damaged my suspension. So we'll see in the straight line here. Was it suspension? The arm, whatever it is, the suspension arm, I think is what it's called. You can see down the straight we're having to slightly steer to the right hand side here just to keep it in a straight line, which is going to be very frustrating. It's going to be losing me probably about a second a lap. I'm not very good with dealing with these sort of circumstances on R factors, so you'll sort of see me losing about a second a lap, maybe even 2 seconds a lap on certain laps. And you can see Suttel there in the pit lane, retired from the race. Very unfortunate for us. But yet another flag at this same corner is driver 2, which nearly does the same thing as Kvyat did. It's with Maldonado this time. Maldonado's lost his front wing there, but all of these accidents have brought us up to 16th position. I know that AI is on a pretty hard difficulty, and also I've got my suspension damage, so not very good. And look at this, the same corner, two cars out. Rosberg gone for a spin. I'm not sure whether it's that corner where the AI having sort of problems, or whether it's just the nature of the corner in general, where they just can't control it or something. But they got so involved in so many accidents through that corner, I just couldn't really believe it, which is just a bit annoying. And this time, going through the final horn, we're up to 14th there, it looks like. Is that Kobayashi? I think it is, going to the pit lane here, but Kobayashi's into the pit, so he made up his position. But look at this, Massa on the attack, and we're trying to just defend on the inside here. Nearly a similar accident to what we actually saw in real life as we just go for a spin. Me being very aggressive with my defensive move, but yeah, it was interesting how it was nearly exactly the same two drivers and exactly the same sort of accident as real life. And so Felipe Massa is going off into the distance here. Obviously my suspension damage, I can't really do much. Yellow flags out again. What is happening here? There's just so much going on here. Looks like Chilton. No! Chilton is in the pit lane. No, we're all a big fan of Chilton. And he's ended up in the pit lane, unfortunately for us. But Chilton, I assume, will be out of the race, and we are pretty much the last car running now. And now currently on lap 9, we're still the last car running in 13th position, which is unfortunate. And I make a right mess of that. Luckily I don't hit the wall, which isn't actually there in real life, if I remember correctly. As we go past Vern, who has retired from the race. A lot of people retiring from this race, which I'm actually quite surprised about. So, you know, I don't know. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Vern retired and Chilton retired. So many people retired, and somehow, out of all of it, I ended up in 12th position. So, with our suspension damage and everything, we can't really do much. We're just struggling and just want to get to the finish here. It's not been the greatest race in the world. It's been on a hard difficulty. I've been putting in slow lap times. I didn't really ever get a good lap time in with my normal car without damage, which is unfortunate, but you know, that's the way things happen nowadays. In Formula 1, it's pretty hard to get a good result as it is such a competitive field. And I'm all over the place on this last lap. I just like, oh my goodness, just like giving up. It's just such a frustrating race for me, as I want to be winning the championship here and losing vital points as Hamilton hasn't retired from this race, and it's just unfortunate for us. Which, yeah, overall, not a terrible race, nothing special, but you know, we come home 11th, one place outside the points, which is unfortunate. And yeah, just having a little bit of fun at the end of the race, and obviously I totally didn't crash there. So anyway, not the best of races, guys. I'm sorry about it. Hopefully it wasn't too bad to watch. Just unfortunate, really. We got that suspension damage halfway through the race. You could just see I've slowed it down here, so we can look at the standings in a little bit more detail. So Bianchi, Vettel, Magnussen are your top three. Vettel getting into the points for only the second time this season and missing out by the win on by 1 second, I should say. Then Hulkenberg, Ericsson, Hamilton, my championship rival, ends up 6th in 8 extra points. Raikkonen 7th, Gutierrez, Grosjean and Massa scores his first point of the season. That means everybody has now scored. All 24 drivers, including the 2 VFR Mercedes drivers, have scored. So, pretty good stuff. It's nice to see everyone scoring now, and hopefully the championship now will be very interesting. So we'll look at the championship results here. So there are the top 10 driver standings. So, you know, my bad race has helped out the championship somewhat, as Hamilton closes in 24 points now behind me. So I'm leading on 85 points, Hamilton there on 81. Bianchi and then Marusha's up to 3rd place now on 58 points. Gutierrez is there in 4th with 55 and still an outside shot. Magnussen, very consistent, but just unfortunately not getting those big results when he can. Ends up in 5th place overall in the standing, or is 5th place in the overall standings, I should say, with 48 points. Then Chilton, unfortunately retired from that race with 43 points now, same as obviously the last round. Rosberg not had some very good results recently, and only 7th place in the standings when he was, I think, 3rd or 4th at the start of the season. So yeah, unfortunately Rosberg just dropping down the standings now, and he's on 38 points. Grosjean doing a good job for Lotus with 33 points there. Vern in his Toro Rosso and Ricciardo in his Red Bull, both on 30 points. I can't actually remember. One of them I think has a win, but I can't remember which one. I'll probably have to go and look over it, because whoever has the win should be in front, but I just can't remember now. So I'll go back and look at that, or whoever has the best result, I should say, will be at the top out of those two. So overall, not that bad, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Once again, it's been an enjoyable video to commentate on. Hopefully it's been an enjoyable race. It's not been as great as Monaco, but overall it's been not too bad. Unfortunately for us, no points, but oh well, you can't win everything. So there we are, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. It's been Alex, I'm out here. Goodbye.